Digital Technology Fundamentals presentation, assignment 2. Um, and if I could just take you through the table of contents, just to give you an overview of the items that we'll be going through. So in terms of what we're going to be talking you through is giving you the company overview and then the business model. Thereafter, we'll be talking through the key challenges that Triple Glimmer currently faces. We'll then take you through the business case that'll give you an overview of the objectives as well as the situation analysis. Then we're going to move over to our proposed solutions, giving an overview of the design and how we intend to roll it out, as well as vendor selection. And then finally, we're going to give an indication of what we think around future recommendations before we bring the presentation to a close. I'm going to go ahead and hand over to Sipati, who's going to give us the Triple Glimmer overview. Thanks.
Thank you, Spongile. Triple Glimmer was formed in 2018 with the aim of disrupting the industry through responsible mining practices that are environmentally friendly through community engagements and a commitment to sustainability and social responsibility. They are a mining resources company that supplies customers with different mined products, such as your calcium carbonate, limestones, as well as aggregates based on customer needs. The company consists of 13 full-time employees that predominantly focuses on sales and administrative duties. In finding efficiencies in their operational activities, Triple Glimmer has adopted an outsourced model of non-core functions such as mining and processing operations. From a digitization point of view, Triple Glimmer's operational digitization is to some degree underdeveloped, but shows potential as they use tools such as your Microsoft Office 365 and cloud hosting within AWS. And lastly, from an innovation point of view, the business has implemented a bespoke CRM-like based database application hosted within AWS, which contributes to maintaining the existing customer base. Thank you. The business model was assessed in 5 lenses. Firstly, the operating environment. Triple Glimmer lime operations plays an important role in supporting the agricultural and construction sectors in South Africa by providing high-quality limestones, followed by operations. Their business model is unlike that of its market competitors as they leverage outsourcing mining operations. They own the land where mineral resources are located. The prerequisites for ownership is obtaining rights as per the legislative requirements with the Department of Agriculture, Rural and Development. Thirdly, business development. Triple Glimmer's approach to sales is primarily cold calling and prospective new innovative partnerships. The company provides free consultation in order to provide best face-to-face service to its clients. Key partnerships being the 4th element. A new strategy employed by Triple Glimmer is to tackle the full customer ecosystem by targeting key players in the farmer value chain, such as soil testers who act as consultants on behalf of Triple Glimmer. And lastly, your customer segments. The strategy allows the business to get in front of potential customers quicker and more effectively, leveraging existing relationships, greatly expanding Triple Glimmer's network of customers. I will then hand over to Suvi, who will take us through the key challenges.
Thank you. So based on our conversations with Triple Glimmer, we've highlighted 3 key challenges or 3 key pain points, those that being sales as marketing, technology, and business processes. So based on our conversations, it was very apparent that sales and marketing, as well as referrals, could be improved to help their business development and their sales processes. Christian, their sales lead from Triple Glimmer, has mentioned them below. Having physical contact with a client is much more effective, so converting a client is much harder in this space. Often the sales teams reach out to farmers, and we often deal with a receptionist who receives our details and it goes nowhere. From there, and we can't afford to incentivize everybody. So that just highlights sales and marketing. Thank you. In terms of the technology stack, they highlighted the various issues or the challenges that they face. So data and reporting, as well as a current data or digital infrastructure can be improved on. So as mentioned by Christian again, we're not running any private infrastructure. There's actually never been any real technology used in this company. It's been Excel spreadsheets, Word documents, and financing software. So anecdotally, he mentioned as well, invoicing is done pretty manually. It's always a thing with us. Thank you. And the final challenge is the business process itself. So linked to the sales and marketing, the sales process could be improved on in terms of understanding where each individual salesperson is in the journey with specific clients, as well as administrative tasks. So as mentioned up earlier, there is a lot of work that's used to be done in Excel that is now done in AWS database, but that still takes time. So as mentioned again, if you can look at a nicer way for reporting the sales statuses, so prospecting, negotiating, sending docs, in the long term, the system that I built would ideally be able to see how employees have progressed with a specific client. For example, if they've called a client or not. So just to wrap up, these are the key pain points that we have highlighted, and we aim to address them in the slides later. So handing over to Takani, who will give you an introduction into our business case.
Thank you, Suvi. The primary objective of implementing the solution is to increase the productivity of the sales team by improving lead tracking, sales pipeline management, and client engagement strategies during the first review period. The secondary objective is to improve the lead conversion rates within the first quarter as a result of the solution being implemented. These objectives will be met through the implementation of a cloud-based CRM solution focused on enhancing triple glimmer sales and leads processes, considering the cost and efficiency. The current situation is that the current sales process presents missed opportunities because they're extremely manual. The sales pipeline relies heavily on human intervention, which makes it difficult and exhausting to create new leads. We recommend that triple glimmer to digitize and automate the sales pipeline, which in turn will create opportunities for the company to reskill and redeploy their workforce and gain access to third-party data in order to increase sales leads and potentially expand the client base. The phased approach implementation will be implemented, and where phase one will be more about creating a cloud-based solution to fulfill the sales processes, and phase two will focus more on getting access to the third party. Thank you. And I will now hand over to Lucia to take you through the identified case study.
Thank you, Takani. I'll take you through First Group case study. First Group is a holiday accommodation provider with 25 hotels in South Africa, and their main challenge was that before the pandemic, First Group's back-end operations were manual, which resulted in slower turnaround times and much higher administrative expenditures. The system they had was to manage the products and inventory, but not the customer experience. First Group decided to go with Microsoft 365 because they wanted to use a major CRM system that has all the built-in and all-inclusive processes with room to grow as the business grows. The pricing structure also influenced their decision. As a Microsoft-intensive business, the pricing structure worked out very well to integrate with all the other Microsoft apps that First Group also utilizes. The benefits that were experienced by First Group were that they were able to automate the manual processes they had in place and digitalize operations with the implementation of Microsoft Marketing and Customer Insights, which enhanced efficiency and decreased manual administrative cost. After experiencing the benefits, this is what Donald Lamotte, the Director of Product Development at First Group, said, and I quote, "The biggest mistake we made was waiting too long to implement a CRM solution. I will advise all businesses to invest in a CRM solution as soon as possible. It is absolutely worth it," unquote. Thank you. I'll hand over to Puven, who will take you through cloud-based CRM.
Thank you, Lucia. The recommended solution makes use of the Azure cloud and the choice of the vendor is of the fact that Triple Grimmer subscribes to use Microsoft Office 365. The CRM solution will be an in-house built solution and provide key functions of the sales pipeline. The tool set is that of Office 365 and cloud-based tools comprising of Azure Functions, MySQL database, Power Apps, Azure Logic Apps, and Power BI. While walking you through the flow of the initial phase of the recommended solution, you will gain a high-level understanding of the use of the technologies, using Azure Functions as the scheduler to initiate the Power Apps workflow. The initial task in Power Apps would read and gather the data that is flagged as new within the MySQL database to create a new quotation and email it to the prospective client. If the client is satisfied with the quotation, they will accept it, which in turn will initiate the creation of an invoice that will be sent via email to the client. Upon receipt of the invoice, the client will make payment and send proof of payment through to Triple Grimmer. At this point in the workflow, the proof of payment will be read from the email and persisted to the MySQL database, linking the proof of payment to the invoice and flagging the client as ready for delivery, which will be visible to the sales representative via the CRM GUI. All the while, these tasks and workflow would be developed and configured within Power Apps. Based on the use of Power BI and the SQL query that is configured in the reporting tool, the finance department then has a view of the reconciled invoice and performs the necessary financial processes. Exception handling is implied to be part of the workflow, and an exception therefore will be visible to the sales representative via the CRM GUI. In order to provide a single view of any new client added to this solution and that of the previous solution, the migration of the data from the old to the new solution will need to take place. Depending on the volume of the data, this could be a seamless exercise. In this phase of the solution, the manual requirements will only be that of the sales representative still needing to contact their potential clients and flagging the client for a quotation. The second phase of the solution will introduce external data providers, giving Triple Grimmer access to potential clients. As an example, in this process, we make reference to the soil testers and leveraging their client and test data to provide an appropriate quotation on the respective minerals that could be lacking on the farms. Logic Apps would provide the solution for a complete integration platform between the soil testers and Triple Grimmer. The process is ideally the same as is in the initial phase, except that now there is a complete automation of retrieval of data and the flagging for a quotation. No manual calling is necessary from this point on, and the sales representative is responsible only for handling exceptions. Data governance is key to this process, and considerations to Papaya needs to be built into the process. I'll hand over to MK, who will take you through the vendor and costing selection.
Thanks, Pulven. So in this section, we look into the factors we took into account when choosing a vendor for Triple Glimmer. We've created a vendor selection matrix to compare and rank each aspect according to relevance and importance. We've got Microsoft 365, Salesforce, and Monday.com. All these vendors offer robust solutions. The functionality is quite similar among them, but each platform has its own strengths and weaknesses. Speaking of which, let's touch on costs on the next slide. This is how much each vendor charges per user per month. The selection of Microsoft 365 was based on the combination of it being the most cost-effective solution, as well as being the option that can integrate well with Triple Glimmer's existing infrastructure. We've opted for the Sales Professional Edition as it has comprehensive features for what Triple Glimmer currently requires. We've kept in mind future growth as well. This As the business grows, the platform will be scaled up or down as required. I'm going to hand over to Sibongile, who's going to touch on future considerations.
Thank you, MK. So we recognize that digital maturity is a journey, and even though the following avenues may not necessarily be feasible in the short term, Triple Glimmer is a growing organization, and as such, it would be remiss of us not to highlight considerations for them to look at in the future as they move forward in their digital journey. So we'll begin with soil testers. Soil testers are vital in generating new business for Triple Glimmer. As you recall, one of the challenges that were mentioned that the company is facing is heavy reliance on referrals, and these are from soil testers for sales leads. The sales team then will actively pursue these leads by sharing a detailed report of the soil composition as well as the pricing attached to it. And based on this report, then the prospective clients will decide if they want to go forward with the purchase or not. Now, Triple Glimmer struggles with the constraints in growing their business due to the heavy reliance on the farmers for, or the soil, the soil testers for the sales leads. So a potential game changer for them lies in how they would connect and leverage their networks effectively. An effective approach would be that the organization can employ a development of an app that solves one or multiple facets of issues that are faced by the everyday farmer. If Triple Glimmer reaches out to their target markets with topics and solutions that are relevant to them, there's an incentive for farmers to actually engage with Triple Glimmer and open the lines of communication. There's also a case of needing to develop and nurture relationships with strong players in the agricultural and mining industry, because this has the potential to unlock a much larger client base as well as a contact base for Triple Glimmer to leverage. A South African company that's doing this particularly well is a company named Kula. Kula has created an app which offers the farming community tools and platforms to support them in growing their business. So perhaps Triple Glimmer can study Kula and maybe even engage with them to understand how they've worked to get to where they are, and potentially replicates that approach in line with how they would like to do it for their organization. I'm going to go ahead and hand over to Luke, who's going to take us through the various tools Triple Glimmer could leverage in the future.
Thanks, Sibongile. Quickly running through some more future considerations. With the integration of Copilot, AI is now more accessible than ever, allowing for AI-powered data analyses, email management, project management, as well as decision-making. Thanks. Copilot also integrates with Power Automate, making it easier to implement initiatives such as automated invoice deployment, streamlined approval processes, and campaigns that drive both awareness and sales. I'll now hand things over to Lorato, who will wrap everything up for us.
Thank you, Luke. So in conclusion, addressing the pain point for Triple Glimmer will allow the team to leverage unfit-for-purpose tech solutions. 4IR's technology tools can easily solve complex problems without negative impact on the current workforce. The cloud-based CRM solution that we have opted for will allow the team, will grant the team more time to focus on building relationship with clients and also managing those relationships well. This will then ultimately lead to business growth as well as realization of future strategy. Thank you.